Sunday, November 21st, 2021. I, I, after I spoke to Miguel this morning, and we were talking about, he told me about French and Latin laws based on French law, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, again, like, when do they teach law? Because they don't teach in the elementary schools, in the United States at least, and I don't know what that's based off. He kept saying it's we the people in the United States. I'm like, right, we the people. So then, I went and I sat quietly and I digested what our conversation sounded like. I watched it back on video feed. And then it dawned on me that perhaps I mentioned to my children first last night, Benjamin mostly, about the scars, and he's the one who's like, but I never saw these scars. I'm like, yeah, they're not in an area. Like, I didn't walk around, I mean, and why would I, as a kid, put that on you or tell you about them? Doesn't, I mean, whatever. So, plus, it really hasn't had any significance for me because just here. I don't know what it means. So then I went down to Miguel and I'm like, Miguel, I was like, can I ask you a question? Because you seem to be knowledgeable. I was like, I had something happen. I was like, the people around here kind of made it seem like it was normal. I was like, but it really didn't feel normal. I was like, and I reported it, kind of, sort of, but like, I was only 20. I didn't know, like, even what it was. I was like, when I had some circumstances surrounding the birth of my first son. I was like, and I was like, that was in 99. I was like, I woke up one morning and he was in the center of my stomach, but around the sides of my stomach, like claw marks. I woke up with burning, and I said I went to the doctor and went to work, showed some people. I was like, and I went to the doctor right away. I was like, and I didn't think much of it because everybody kept telling me it was, well, Linda said it was stretch marks. And that's what Miguel kind of said. And I was like, see, what's really not sitting with me is 2 years later, the guy who, whatever, and then I had a marriage certificate too because the kid came first. I was like, he gets a mark on his forehead. And he's like, oh. And I was like, so now that's my question is, I was like, I didn't really think of my marks as significant. I was like, of a whatever. I was like, until I get a call because I was home and he's in the hospital and he's got something on his head and they went out drinking. And he's like, well, did he join something? I was like, yeah, the near NYPD police force. And he's like, oh, okay, well, then it was like hazing. I was like, yeah, well, that's funny because that's what they said. Like, it was along the lines of, or whatever, like it happens, drinking, and then crazy things happen. And I'm like, all right. I mean, didn't, again, think much of it. I was like, and I really don't like the guy. I'm like, I wasn't following him around, and I really didn't want him coming near me or touching me. And I just was looking to raise my son and just not be a part of whatever. I was like, but again, I was like, because now I'm wondering, is it like maybe, would that be considered gang related? I was like, or is it like, and what does that even mean? And he's like, well, it just means that he joined something like a brotherhood. And I'm like, right, okay, got that, but what does that mean for me? Like, how did I get, like, how, this doesn't make any sense to me because, like, I don't understand how brotherhoods work. I mean, like, they have a job in the city, and I really don't want to be with this guy, and I definitely don't want to be hurt for the rest of my life because of this guy. So now I'm just curious, because I don't even know if he knows what the thing on his head was or is or whatever. We don't talk about it. And nobody seems to give a shit about me, as usual. But I'm like, I don't know, like, what to do, because life just seems to be getting worse and worse. And so I don't exactly know how to protect myself and my kid. Um, so he's like, yeah, he's like, again, it's just sometimes it happens when they join like a brotherhood of some sort. Like, yeah, all right. Like, again, like, what does that mean? Like, I mean, like, I mean, I didn't say that to him because I was grateful for him trying to help me, but like, sometimes the humans speak, and I'm just like, I, I'm just, my brain is just not connecting. It's like one of those screens where you try to open an application and like the little circle goes around and around, and it's like, I'm working on it. Like, I don't really get it. Like, how did you all, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, there's something called poetic justice. There's something called social justice. But poetic justice, is that like music? Like where they sing about all the crimes that they're committing and like acknowledging it, but like behind a label so they don't get their asses kicked and hurt. I mean, like, and then I'm like, oh, I was studying the artwork Nucci brought home and hung, and I'm realizing there's no MLB symbol on any of the stuff. I was like, that's interesting. And what are you doing? And then I noticed, and I'm like, no, that one's MLB with an M. I was like, no, this, I mean, again, all this stuff is like really curious to me, but I'm like, where is the significance? And like, how do I just protect myself and get like some kind of.
You need to call a sheriff.
A sheriff, thanks for that, kiddo. To like this get, I mean, like, I don't even have a reliable source to like a best friend or like a aunt or an uncle to ask questions of that are knowledgeable. I don't come from one of those families. I got Lou and Lynn. Hasn't worked out for me so far. But it's like, how do you also, when you're under such duress, DURESS, and stress, STRESS, and you're breaking, and you know that you're breaking, and you know that there's a grander schematic importance of things, but you're stuck in a war zone, an ozone hole, rather than in a safety zone, and there's like hot air bags and fake meat everywhere that doesn't really give a shit about you, and it's like purposely holding you in a more dangerous position. Like, how does one actually help oneself? It gets a little confusing, especially since my father was taken out. My father got some guy named Lord that he worked with for years, which means he wasn't working on anything to help me out, just making my life worse and putting me in a more dangerous future position. That seems like that should be against the law. Since it's against the laws of nature, it's against like tribal stuff. I mean, like, where is this actually like keeping the public safe, especially when they're harmed so bad in the field? I know you're able to get people to me because you've been doing it my whole life. I just don't know why none of them are the people I need. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way universe, galaxy is broken. And it is Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And I think the USMC, which is the Marine Corps, supposed to have, I think, don't they have chapters of something? Isn't there a significance in their chapters? Why can't I just, a representative from my chapter come help me? I mean, it's so. Why is this? I mean, why is everybody so secret? There's secret justice, secret societies. It's secret, secret, secret. It seems like that's against like the building of a nation and the protecting one's nation is all the secret shit, which is all I've been experiencing my whole entire life, trying to quantify and like understand what a human is speaking and thinking, and then like how it relates to like safety. I mean, what the hell else is the rest of the purpose of this? I really don't see a purpose for humanity whatsoever, I'll be honest. The ones that I've encountered are nothing but trouble.